I am going to be doing a tutorial on creating a simple helmet in ZBrush. Okay. Using the ZBrush modeler tool. So first thing first that I'm gonna do is create a mask to select out the head area that I'm going to be using to create the helmet. Then Shift Control, invert this selection. Wait a minute, sorry. Duplicate this. We're gonna use it afterwards. Duplicate. Okay. Second head. Mask again. Okay, that's our mask. Shift Control to invert the selection. Afterwards, what we do is split hidden. So that breaks apart the selection. We don't need this second part, so we can delete it. Okay. We don't need this either, that goes away. So now we have this area, which is what we're going to be using to create our helmet. So in your brush, you go to ZModeler, and you can use the side view. Helps to fully understand what is being done, especially with this cutoff area right here. So Shift F gives us the topology. Make sure you take off the mask before you start adding any stuff to your head. So hover over the polygon here, space bar, and in the ZModeler brush, you have polygon actions and you have the targets. So extrude poly loop for target. Make sure it is that little orange line. Poly loop. There we go. And you just move out. You know, you move out as much as you want or as little as you want. And now we have a border, not a border, sorry. Oh yeah, a border for our helmet. To make things look a little more interesting, do the same thing again, only with the little orange line. Sorry, you won't be able to see that orange line very good. That little orange line that you see moving. Whichever direction you see that line pointed in is the direction that your extrusion is going to come out in. So if it's pointing upwards, like what we want, you get that. And we just pull this out as much as you want. Oops. I don't know how that happened. Okay. And now we have this. Okay. Now I'm thinking for this area on top of the head, I'm going to pull out again because I like the extrusion tool. You know, it gives a lot of different stuff you can do. So I don't mind it. I actually like it a lot. So now you have that. And you pretty much just figure out how you want to design your helmet, you know, using the different tools in the ZModeler, and you design. So hovering over this area, space bar, we can do a bevel and not flat border. We don't have any separate parts. Holy corners. See what that does. Oh, well, look at that. Okay. Ooh, did it beat on this? Okay, it did. Hover, click, and see what they do. See what they do. We're going back to extrude, and we've got some triangles here. Hover over the triangle and extrude. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Let me see. It's interesting. Not much going on for it. Oops. All triangles, let's take that out. All quads, extrude. Nope. It's just play around with it. Figure it out as you go along. You think too hard on this thing and it will hurt your head. Bevel in front. It's starting to look more like some sort of weird spaceship kind of thing rather than a mask. But not a mask, sorry, a helmet. But that's okay. That is very much okay. Now, what I'm gonna do with the back is hold down Alt and select this area. And what this does is that it basically created a new polygroup for me, so I can do whatever I want here. So if I spacebar and say I want to inflate it, I inflate, and flat border would flatten the borders around it. Or if I want to flatten inner, that would push it in like that. So now it has an indentation, which is looking pretty decent if you ask me. So that's what her mask is looking like. Also, again, Alt, and you select these areas, and then you just click on them and they delete. So now we have that. And you can continue using Alt to delete areas that you don't want in your helmet. So all this area that's, let me bring down my thing here to try to help me. Right, so if I want to delete some of these unwanted parts of my helmet, Alt, and you just, well, I'm deselecting them now, but Alt, and while holding down the Alt key, you select the areas that you want out of your out of your helmet. I keep saying mask. Out of your helmet that I'm designing. Select, 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 and then space bar, delete, and delete, like that. So we have those areas removed from our helmet. Let's see what we're looking at the side view. I like looking at the side view because it gives me an idea, a decent idea of what my helmet is like. So let me use the inflate. It's a different viewpoint. Alt key, and say we want these 3 areas here. We're gonna do something with this. We have it selected, hover over one part, space bar, inflate, flat inner. No, we're not gonna flat inner. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hover, space bar, inflate, poly loop, and poly group. And that is going to allow for these areas that we selected to come out. Kind of like extrude, but not entirely. Sorry. What it does is that it inflated it. So now we have this looking helmet as our front view. And we can take this a step further, hover over here, and the single poly, a single poly. So it'll just be this area. And say we want to do that. So now it's like, it's got cat ears. Think of it like that. You got some cat ears going on, got a whole bunch of different lines going through. And you just have at it. You know, you go full ham, you have at it, you play around with it. Let's get rid of some of these areas here. Hold down the Alt key, and rather than clicking each one individually, just drag over whatever you want to get rid of. Just like that. So we have that selected because that's all broken up, kind of, not really even. And hover over a polygon in this selected area, space bar, delete, click on it, and it goes bye-bye. Alt, let's select this area, play around with it, do something with it. Space bar. ZModeler modifiers on weld. We could bevel it. So we've beveled this area right here. And now we can come out of shift. This is what our helmet would look like in its other outside of the topology. Look, the polyframe look. Yeah, that word. Looks pretty cool if you ask me. And we can use other brushes as well. You know, just scroll around and look on the brushes. Zoom in. So we're on the move tool brush. Okay, so we're back to the topology view. And what I'm gonna do now is hover over this area, inflate, brush radius, and I'm just gonna pull it out. I don't want to pull it out too much, just enough. So now we have this going for us. And that's pretty much, just using those tools in this software to create something. Select, 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 hover, spacebar. Do. We can move and not polyloop this time. It's behind. Use the brush radius. See what happens. Okay, so that's pretty much how you create a simple helmet. Nothing advanced, nothing too complicated. In general, just messing around with the tools in it. So let me zoom out of this, come out of the topology view. We have this as our helmet, a pretty sturdy helmet if you ask me. Bring it above our head from before. So now we have it like that. Make it a little bit bigger. So it fits on the model's head. And that is the helmet. You want to take it a step further. Take things a little step further, let this helmet seem like it's truly attached onto this head. We go to our brush, curve alpha. We've changed this. Okay. We change this to that so it shows a little better. Side view. I like working in the side view because I'm able to understand certain stuff more that way. And we just pull down. Boom. And voila! You got some little thingies. You have, those things where straps. You have some straps to strap your helmet on tight onto your head. Stroke. Curve function, delete line so you can see that better. And there you have it. Your helmet is completed. Let me zoom out. So that's using the ZBrush, ZModeler brush to create a simple helmet. And you can take things even further if you want. That is the end of my tutorial.